to come alone. Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow. Proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know, I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe. Before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone, try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. Then a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking...
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
It couldn't have been me, sir. I was front row in my AOC t-shirt, foie gras sucking on a press release, sir. My head down, fourth shot, good little sheep, sir. Sit down, sweetie. The adults are gonna speak first. They trust the science and they're terrified of research. Here to thank our healthcare heroes, they've been feeding to the burnout, feet first. Until suddenly they dip mid-shift, take a header off a bridge. Such a shame, they were really such a sweet nurse. Now they'll never get the card and the cold slice of pizza meant to thank them for their teamwork. Now they'll never get the baggie full of Chex Mix, which would be the one reward they'd see for the moms they had to intubate. And the countless cries of grief since we've been haunted by the specter of the C-word. Now all the applause for our healthcare heroes rings a very hollow note because we played it out like Freebird. See, add the ones and zeros in our fragile checks and balances are checks for all the wealthy who have such unholy talents that we think it's patriotic that we all got zero balances. And re-elect Pelosi so she'll face our toughest challenges. Which is analogous to water for a drowning man. Nancy disregards our impoverished with a spiteful and dismissive little waving of her withered hand. Cause 500,000 freezing on the streets is Biden's winter plan. And I bet you swore they told you you were voting for a different man. But really all you wanted was a different man. It didn't make a fucking difference if he finishes the previous inhabitant's agenda and starts auctioning protected land. Biden's born to leap at any war a donor's check demands. Turns out that you can't cure greed once it infects a man. Once they lose respect for human life and focus all their fucking efforts on the oil baron rescue plan. Honey, what are we to heck you but or heck you but to us that if she's starving we should give a damn? Why should we be moved to tears if someone isn't eating? We won't even recognize that food is essential to our being. It's just us and motherfucking Israel who will not guarantee that food's a basic human right. Because starvation is our favorite tool of genocide disguised as sanctioned democratic healing. That's me in the corner, losing my religion, gouging out my eyes and then dancing on the ceiling. Jesus fucking Christ, what a feeling.
Hey, what What about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid. 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward in 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake, and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning,
Wait.
Sunday morning.
Wait. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never.
We gotta go hot mics. Hi everybody, it's Indy and it's Jesse. Oh my god, what's going on? I forgot to switch a thing. We were looking at black screen. What's going on, man? Okay, I'm a little high. That's what happens early on before a show, and we've got 18,000 buttons and things to push and things happening. What's up, dude?
Drugs, Indy? You're doing drugs during
what?
the show?
No, what? It is legal where I live now, so it's all good. What drugs? What drug?
How dare you?
How
That's
dare you?
highly
Wait,
unprofessional of you.
what? Oh, look at that. So I just
we have
noticed.
fun here.
Okay. We do have fun here. So I just noticed something. So we're going to do something on the fly that in here, your little transparent little guy over here. Is that
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, the chat is not really working because my thingy is over there. My thingy. The logo, the bird is over there, and it's kind of in the way of the chat, so it's kind of hard to see. And let's slide this over and see if we can slide that up. And that's a little better.
Yeah, looks good to me.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Look at that.
Okay, so this is...
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
You have to have some mustard because it's Easter.
Hi, everybody. That's right. You got to do the Harry Carey here.
My friends call me Whiskers because I'm curious like a cat.
Oh, dude, I love Will Ferrell's character. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, how are you, bud? We almost didn't do this tonight. We almost were like, you know what? Should we just take a week off like everyone else? But you know what? We're not going to let YouTube win. We're not going to let the man keep us down.
Nope. Screw you, YouTube. INN did get
my duties if I laid down and just let's take a night off.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, lots of people did decide that they wanted to take that night off, but INN got
take your time. We love you.
INN got a copyright or a content strike for a video that we uploaded for our friend Joe, and that's going to happen when you challenge imperialism and you put up and you show the Nazis that are in Ukraine, and well, that's going to happen sometime.
In the draft, though, correct? Wasn't it still in draft?
I think somebody actually had hit publish at about 5 a.m. I don't know who. It might have been me. I might have done it in my sleep. I might have woken up and done it for all I know. But somebody seemed to. It made it over to Odyssey somehow, so it wouldn't have backed up to Odyssey if somebody hadn't hit publish. And within 28 minutes after it hit publish, somebody hit publish. It just went, yeah, that's not cool, and they restricted it. And I woke up in the morning or the next day. I tried to publish another one of Joe's videos, which was the Sam Cedar versus Cenk Uygur. Which one loves Jimmy Dore more?
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't publish it. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? And like, oh, content something. I was like, wait, what? Oh, wow. So yeah. But that's okay. We're live on the Rockfins. We're live on Rumble. We're live on Odyssey. We are live on my Indie Left News YouTube channel, which has decent number of subs on it too. But INN got a 90-day content strike where apparently, according to all our friends, that we won't be able to live or upload for a week. And we'll see how that goes, and hopefully they'll let us back on. But yeah, Joe was like, yeah, Nazis are bad. Okay, yeah, 9-9. That's right. That's right, Cynic. Kit Cabello, what's up, dude? I saw you were here before. If not now, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for supporting INN. We know you're always there to support the people who are suspended, demonetized, platformed, deplatformed, etc. It seems to happen to everybody every week these days. So I'm going to go to the description now, and I'm actually going to read it for everybody else because this is American tradition on usually INN, and on every other network it's on INN. American tradition airs every other Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Tonight is episode 10, which is the virus retrospective, and that is, again, I'm reading the description, a look back at the album that started it all, The Virus, with readings and performances of several tracks and an in-depth discussion of the creation and political landscape at the time. Join us as we return to the year of our Lord 2020. I love it, man. And shout out to Big Mad Crab for the thumbnail, our creative director there for the artwork as always. And he was out at Camp Dada and want to celebrate and give credit to all the ladies and all the participants that went out to the Hamptons and roughed it and camped out in the wilderness out there. Even though it was the Hamptons, they were camping. That was hardcore tenting and outdoor cooking, and they were doing fun stuff. And I was following them all weekend. It seemed like it was a great time. Again, Big Mad Crab was out there with the Bank Sisters, Savvy Sabs, and a bunch of others. Blue Moon Red Wine, Lucy was out there. So, how you been, man? Again, it feels like it's been like a year and not 2 weeks in some ways, and it feels like another time like I just blinked and it was 2 weeks. It was like, holy shit, it's already 2 weeks. So, it's weird.
Oh, I've been good, man. I've been working on a lot of new stuff. I actually have 4 or 5 different instrumental pieces going on right now. One of them that I've got words and chorus and everything ready to go for. Just got to get it recorded in the next few nights. So I probably will end up doing a double release again and have an EP of songs and then a spoken word album, because as is, I've got probably 7 spoken word pieces. One of them's 16 or 17 minutes with the co-opt. Right. So there's a full spoken word record right there. So I want to have another music project to throw out with it. And so far, the stuff I have put together is either really jazzy or really, like, dare I say, danceable. Like there's some ass shakers here, and it's really fun to put what I usually do over something that's like super catchy and listenable. There was one song I was working on, and all of a sudden I heard this little bass line in my head, and I was like, no, but I did, and it's just funky. It's this very fast, funky bass line that all of a sudden just really, really changed tones. I'm like, why not? Like, I had mentioned to you before, there was a clip I heard the press secretary say the other day that, you know, when you are not with what the majority of Americans think, that's extreme. That's an extreme way of thinking. And so I really want to call my next record, Everyone Who Doesn't Agree With You Is an Extremist, and Other Fanciful Tales.
Other fanciful tales, yep. I love it. Yep, Camp David's looking nice, according to Reef, who's checking in. We just lost you for a second. I'm having spotty, weird internet. I don't know what's going to happen. We're hoping this thing's going to hold.
Right?
I don't know if this is like an omen, YouTube, internet, whatever. Somebody's yelling at us like, dude, you guys, I don't know what's going on in here, but we're gonna do our best to rock out, have some fun, tell some stories, like Reef said, story time with Jesse. And we're going to play some tunes and have a good time on American tradition. I'm so psyched for this again.
Me too.
The last episode was so good. Okay, where we went through all the spoken word pieces, the new pieces, and then you just ripped out the Geiger Age, like just threw out a 50s album, a doo-wop album, just pulled that out of nowhere. Like, hey, I didn't even know you were going to do that.
That was a blast.
There it was. Yeah, we're just going to keep this shit going. Yeah, I love it.
Right?
So
why not?
Let's do it up.
All right. Yeah. So quite a few pieces from The Virus I've played before on the show. And then I was thinking about the ones that I haven't, and there's a few that I couldn't believe I haven't. And so it seemed like what better time to, I just missed the 2-year anniversary, because that would have been this spring. But it was all 24 of those songs were written between March and May. It was, I did Town Hall and came to Twitter and started shopping it around. And what's funny is, if I look back, I guarantee you there are probably 30 or more likes and retweets on Town Hall from people that now have me blocked or muted or unfollowed.
It's the Twitter block list now for Town Hall. I love it.
There were people that shared that song, and we were, Bernie supporters. That was the extent of it. We saw where we were headed, and us Bernie people were banding together, and that was before 50 different events that were made to splinter us up into sub-factions and sub-factions and sub-factions. And once I got the response I did with Town Hall, I'm just, did a couple more. And then I couldn't stop. I mean, the next couple things were primary and smear campaign, because I was watching the primaries happen and watching Bernie already start taking a step back, Joe get aggressive, and all these places start reporting numbers for Joe, and I'm like, Joe Biden, Joe fucking Biden, are you serious? Like, then it starts making sense. Like, oh, this isn't some fluke. Then I couldn't stop. They're going to fucking force on us now. This is the what we're getting. This is our lesser evil. And very quickly it became, write a song about today's event, today's discourse, mix it the next morning. If it mix it, I lowercase m on the word mix there. And then the next night there was something else to write about, and I was writing something else. And, everything was exclusively recorded in the car, and I'll now record right here at Camp David. But when I was recording in the car, it felt like a road trip. I mean, I'd go cram in there, and when I did something like Speaker of the House, like I'd take my Nancy Pelosi sample, clip it out, piece it all up, put the beat together, start recording vocals, mix it, and I'd be out in the car for 5 hours. And when I'd get out, sometimes it felt like I was on a road trip. I'd be stretching, my legs were all like give out and creaky and shit. But that was the time, you know. I'd work, and then we'd get our kid to bed, and I'd tell my wife, all right, I'm gonna make a pot of coffee and I'm gonna go out to the car and record. That was, yeah, like I said before, that is not a pace I was able to keep up beyond that first record. That was for my own sanity. I couldn't keep up with the discourse every day. In fact, there's a song, and it's now even further back in people's collective memory, but the song Chips on the Virus was a short piece. I did it and Tumors on the same day, and Chips was inspired by an event where there was a man who reportedly was stealing a bag of chips in Walmart, black, and police showed up and shot him, and he bled out on the floor in Walmart, and everyone stood around and filmed it. And it was maybe a day later that there was the video of that cop in California who had the like 14-year-old kid on the ground and was like beating him. And so the guy that got shot in Walmart was already old news. He didn't even make it 36 hours in the news cycle. And so I put that song out, and people were asking, who are you talking about? Because I said something, you know, tell me why someone has to die for chips, or man getting shot over chips. And it was already gone. And it just hit me then, like, man, we really do. We it's not even like people forget about it. It's hard to keep up because there's a dozen different events like that in the next 2 days. That was just, you know, and I'm sure it's always been like that, but 2020, especially coming into political Twitter and getting used to seeing what was happening every day around us, and it really hitting me, and that happening at the same time as I'm watching our government just hang us out to dry and give us Joe Biden. I don't know who could witness that and not feel radicalized, for lack of a better word. Very quickly the tone of the song started changing, and it was like I didn't know when I was going to stop. I just knew every day there was something to write about. And then I stopped and I took a breath and I looked, and I had 24 songs and an hour and a half worth of music. I was like, okay, I need to put this out so I can move on to making songs for something else, or this is going to be like a 3-disc fucking, you know,
a never-ending thing until November. Basically, is what would end up happening. And you know, it's really funny because that's when I started aggregating and amplifying independent news, and I'm like, Bernie's getting knifed because of corporate media. We need to let everybody know that like this is all bullshit, and 96% of what everybody's seeing is all bullshit. And come on, man. How are you? Come on, but really, Joe, like you said, Joe Biden, that guy. Yeah. And I literally said today, the guy that nobody wanted, and the VP candidate in Kamala that couldn't even make it out of December. But somehow they're the anointed candidate who's so unpopular and so disliked she couldn't make it out of December. Those are the ones that end up making it through. It's like, wait, what?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. The whole thing is fucked. So, as Misty would say, we're fucked.
We need that queued up right next to Kitty.
Somewhere. Well, actually, Reef has the MP. He's got it on his soundboard. You gotta have him send it to me. Reef, send me over Misty going, we're fucked. I'll edit the Stream Deck right now.
I can't invoke the kitty and not hear the kitty. Can I get a Warren?
Oh. Kitty! At all times. We need Warren kitties at all times.
Oh,
for sure.
So good.
All right. So we are over on rockfin.com/INN. We are over at twitch.com/Indie News Network, twitch.tv. We're on Twitter. We're on Odyssey.com/Indie News Network. I think it's like a :9, but just search Indie News Network on any of these platforms. You'll find INDIE. But all right. You got some Bandcamp songs. I got a screen loaded up. If you want to show the lyrics, great. If you don't, I don't
Let's
think
do
we.
it. Yeah, let's show lyrics for everything.
Okay. Well, then they won't see you playing. But
oh yeah, that's true. Well, I guess we'll just do it for
the spoken word
piece.
Yeah.
Let's get into
Charlie Mack had a birthday.
There he is.
Big Mad Crab. There they are. What's going on? They found the alerts.
We're gonna kick it off with Hooky, I think.
Nice. Okay.
This was a very oddly accessible song, but it felt right, considering the context. This was that kind of ode to the people that were really insulated from the news during quarantine, that used it to just play some games and catch up on shows, and that weren't watching the political shit show. And especially Animal Crossing. It started with AOC playing Animal Crossing with everyone, and everyone talking about the price of turnips. Half of my feed was turnip price commentary, and half of it was the primaries and people standing out, in the rain for 11 hours.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah. Yeah, so this was a short little number off of The Virus. This is called Hooky.
Everyday life just feels like there's no time. Wake up and then you blink, it's last night. And I won't lie, I think this is our new life, and I don't mind. Everyday life just happens in between the battle scenes to keep your mind. Wake up and then you come around the bend to see the end's another starting line. And I won't lie, I've been playing hooky from the truth a long time, and I don't mind. See, life is but a dream until the dream is just your life. Everything is blurry in between the Visqueen set pieces on a vacant sound stage where there once played day-to-day monotony and minutiae of a different time. And that's a far cry from a tall glass meant for wine full of cheap gin over Patsy Cline. But that's a story for another night. Tonight I want to disconnect and feel the full effect of being someone only stressed about a turnip price. I look outside, read one headline, eat, drink, sleep, internalize. Maybe sprout a tumor with the stress that I suppressed when I hung up that sign that said only good vibes. Like a dog in a fire thinking this is fine. Hoping someone's thinking for me cause I can't decide. But who could blame Mother Nature fantasizing our infanticide? No, our infanticide. Everyday life just feels like there's no time. Wake up and then you blink, it's last night. And I won't lie, I think this is our new life, and I don't mind. Don't mind. And I don't mind. And that's Hooky.
Ah, that's pretty. You know what? I listened to it earlier on Bandcamp, or I think it might have even been Spotify, and it's got like a graininess to it that obviously you can't necessarily replicate because it's got some kind of an effect over it.
Yeah.
You can hear.
It's,
I kind of like
something
it.
I only tried once, where I essentially the whole mix for that song, aside from the vocals, gets faded in and out slightly. So the vocals stay kind of right in front, but the entire mix, drum and bass and everything, kind of get this just a little bit of a soft fuzz filter that I just kind of do in waves. So yeah, the mix swells in weird parts. It's not, I didn't do that with anything else, but it felt right for Hooky, since lyrically it was this kind of dreamy, like someone just enjoying quarantine and, you know, I'll go back to work soon. I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing and order a bunch of DoorDash, and just that there was this whole other life people were living, whereas my quarantine was just political obsession. It was falling down this rabbit hole and watching all the riots and watching things go to shit. And then I had friends that were just like, man, I spent the whole weekend watching the new season of Stranger Things. I'm like, I can't even watch TV anymore because it's all fucking propaganda. Like, that was just the beginning of me branching off, you know.
Bro, that's Red Pill. You just literally named Red Pill. Okay, yeah, I feel you. I was not there yet. I mean, I wasn't watching that. I was watching Richard for sure. Nice. Reef just sent me the Misty sound. Let's see if I'm that really good and I can get that on. Oz, welcome to the stream. How are you, sir? Always good to see my brother Oz. All right, so the first thing I need to do is save that file. Find it. There it is. Cool. So you got a bunch more songs here. We have songs.
I do.
Dude, you sent me the list that you were thinking about playing, and I went through this. And again, it is a 24-song album that was written over 2 months in a period where we were all locked up. Everybody had to figure out what the hell to do with themselves, keep themselves productive, busy, and have an outlet to figure out, how do we deal with this lockdown virus thing that we've never experienced before in our lifetimes? And the government, you know, again, if you watched any of Jimmy Dore's streams, and we actually just went back and we were watching one of his April 1st stream, which is legendary. It's right after the CARES Act, and he's got Chris Smalls on. He also interviews a labor leader about, like, so what are we going to do? Yeah. And the guy basically, and it's not even the one with Jerry but it's just a different guy. And the guy's just like, basically like, you know, we're looking for meths in different warehouses. They had no plan. They didn't know what to do. And Jimmy's just like, oh my God, I can't believe what's happening. And that's kind of what you were feeling. That's kind of what I was feeling. Yeah. That's kind of what a lot of us were. And that's the whole point.
Yeah,
we're fucked. And let's see if I can get that up now. Check this out, because I enjoy it better than anything else.
I enjoy it.
Oh, I enjoy it, and
I like it better than anything else.
All right, but now I can actually tell it instead to look to a different. Where's the? Yes. Yes.
Good. All right.
Here we go.
We're gonna fuck up some spoken word next. We're gonna do powder.
Winning. Thanks, Reed.
We're gonna do powder keg, which I've never done on anything before. And it felt best to do it spoken word. The sample that runs in the back of this song, it was really hard to get because it was windy as tits outside, but there was a huge flock of birds circling over and over around my backyard. And I was outside with my son. I was like, I gotta get the mic and record this, because they were just super vocal. So I stood out there and shielded with the mic, and as best as I could, got these birds and compressed the hell out of it to get it to actually make it at all onto the song. But Powder Keg was me doing kind of a Me Too song where it's Mother Nature and mankind, and
Cool.
yeah,
All right. Well,
it's one of my favorite songs on Virus. It's a very very chill instrumental, and it was actually the song I wrote on 420 of that year, which I actually reference at the end of the piece. So
oh, look at that. So
and shout out to my brother did the artwork for the Virus inauguration gift and Geiger Age, and all I told him was I want the Capitol building oozing some sort of dark ichor and a big COVID spore above it, and like attached to it. And what he gave me is just so much more tumoury. And like, if you zoom in on parts of that, it's, I mean, he's a tattoo artist. He only works in black ink, and he did my B, and like his line work is really detailed, and you can see the tiny little, it's just
the detail. It's insane.
Fleshed out so much. And when he first sent me what he had, I was like, oh my God, I just sat there. I was just floored by it. And even though it's not my, obviously it was me, you can hear me learning how to mix better with GarageBand as I go, because the beginning songs and the end songs, there's a clear difference in quality. But man, I want to see that on vinyl so bad. I want to hold that album cover on a fucking vinyl. Like, I want to see that on a, full size.
That reminds me of like a P-Funk cover, where like the one with the where the worms are coming out of her head, like that kind of like shocking. And that's just a sketch of it. Like, can you imagine if it's fully produced? I know. Wow. And that's
the same COVID spore, obviously, for the inauguration gift cover. He used that. And my friend Sophie incorporated that for the cover for Coming of Spring, because my brother at the time was so backed up with tattoo appointments, like I couldn't throw another project in his lap, especially because he won't let me like pay him for stuff. He's like, here's your thing. And so I had already taken too much. But man, the cover for that and inauguration gift, again, it's just like he took what I said and just gave me something that was so phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here we go. This is Powder Keg.
Okay.
If women are the fairer sex, men must be the fouler sex. For when triggered, we undoubtedly have vocal bouts of powder keg. We designed the physical embodiment of liberty, and irony of ironies. We chose to represent it using feminine imagery being grounded. Freedom rooted to the spot, liberty without her legs. Because what does a man like more than a woman always carrying a torch for you? But holding it, you'll only want to touch it, and the flame will come to torture you. Some of us don't know what we do. Some of us swear that we don't, but of course we do. Men are quick to fetishize fortitude, but God forbid we see it in a woman, or we're bent on destroying you. Because men are by nature competitive. Man is by nature becoming irrelevant. After we're gone, we'll live on in the soil through only unnatural elements. I lost a bet with myself because my child was born in a world that still had a few elephants. Man is a toxin whose washing to sea is no bother to me and will hardly be seen with a shimmer of sentiment. Nature has seen that we're all an impediment. Nature is shaking us loose. Nature is digging us out by the roots, and it's all for her betterment. We've pulled the cord on shedding so many species from the earth. Maybe it's our turn to shed a bit. When I try to view it as karma for all of our slaughters, I feel a little calmer accepting my death a bit. COVID-19 is a precipice, and nature will push us or finally cave and keep paying our benefits. But we can't overstay our welcome and then try to bribe our way into extending it. If nature is saying time's up, we are in the role of the powerful oppressor who needed to be held to a standard that was better, who is easily doubted if for no other reason than their power. But looking at our record, it's apparent we've a long unhealthy pattern of wasting what matters, of poisoning the seas and the soil of the pastures, the peace of the dark of the night.
Only mankind has made dimmer all the stars in the sky, littered far corners with shrapnel of satellites, caused more extinction than you could ever tabulate or quantify. So if we're up next, I'm not saying that it doesn't suck, only that we qualify. Have a great day. Live an honest life. Hold all your loved ones tight. Nothing's ever guaranteed, only that our dead will eventually be canonized. This will go down as a war between insurers and those not willing to be sacrificed. That's my time. Back to our lives while we have our lives. Captain's log for 2020. I'm an optimist as ever, but I marinate in too much truth to ever truly feel sterilized. Captain's log for 2020. Honey, that's my time.
Honey, that's my time. I remember that's at the end of another song, I seem to recall. Is that at the end of Sunday Morning, number 40?
No, because that cuts off abruptly. What is it? There's
That's right.
Honey, is it Great Experiment?
Yes, it's
Theremin?
the end. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. It's Great Experiment. They're usually like back to back in the playlist.
That's another one I realized.
Hear.
I've never played Great Experiment on this show.
Is that right?
I
can't
so
wait
that'll
for
be.
that.
What's crazy is before we know it, it'll be the 2-year anniversary of Inauguration Gift. So I'm gonna have to do something like, I don't know. I've still never tried to do my songs with like the actual instrumental playing. And it'd be really fun to hook up my bows and do an actual like live stream, play the whole record, or sit and do a listening party with it. Because honestly, one of the most fun times I ever had was when we did the listening party for the Grift. That was such a blast. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas there, but I missed the virus anniversary, and I'm not going to do that with this next album. So
nice.
Let's get into scraps. This was once I was tired of playing nice and hoping for better, and just being like, I'm not gonna vote for this piece of shit. You guys can all get excited for him and bite the bullet and do the lesser evil thing, but I'm not gonna do it. And it was also the first song that my dad heard, and he was like, "Oh, this is disappointing." Some killer samples in here. Stephen fucking Miller, piece of shit. Kellyanne Conway, and what's that one? Roche, Dana,
Rohrbacher.
Yeah. The This Is Absurd that plays in this song is her. All right. This is one that every time I mess around with the song, I'm reminded that I desperately need to get around to recording my acoustic variants album, because this is one of those songs that I want to record an acoustic version of desperately.
Sweet.
So here we go. This is Scraps.
Perception down to the ground and see it swallowed by the snow. Maybe the open mind is a void where nothing ever really grows. Maybe you're outside and I'm in the confines of what I know. But I lost my voice out here, and without it I am never going home. Never going home. Never going. Our voices being stolen.
scraps, eyes swollen, carrying a sign reading we are being lied to. If healthcare for all was a full nude, Mitch McConnell's only giving side boob. Only making promises to wave a little hope right in your face and then deny you. So pardon me if I would rather burn my fucking vote to defy you. And I hope it makes you hate me, makes you feel like I'm just wasting any chance of bringing change. But I am not complicit in what brought us to this place, and I will not support us being further led astray. And I don't care the color hearse that carries us away. The filth on both the blue and red makes us a sickly gray, and it sickens me to witness just how quickly we obey, how quickly we accept the meager scraps that fall our way. Scraps supposed to last us 30 days, scraps that barely cover bills that can't be paid, and scraps that couldn't pay for Nancy's chocolate for a day. And all the thoughts and prayers in the world can't fix it, cause I'm drowning in my thoughts and I don't fucking pray. If this is where you tell me that's the problem, there's the door, pal, thanks for staying. And if Jill's right, all you have to do is just swallow, and you can play the game. In that case, Jill, I won't be playing. So how about you save your blame and try to change somebody who still doesn't know which way they're swaying? I won't vote for a rapist, that's all I'm saying. And when they asked if I had any last words, honey, I did my impression of a spectator at Wimbledon. Back and forth, back and forth. I hope that answers your question, you simpleton. Throw your perception down to the ground and see it swallowed by the snow. Or maybe the open mind is a void where nothing ever really grows. Maybe you're outside and I'm in the confines of what I know. I lost my voice out here, and without it I am never going home. I'm never going home. I'm never going home.
I love that one.
That's scraps.
Scraps. Cool. Wait, I wasn't muted that whole time? I thought my mic was muted. Okay. I thought you were here. I usually mute my mic during it.
Weird. I thought you said I was muted. I go, shit.
No. You sound awesome. Actually, Cynic was saying I need to turn you up. Yeah, I won't vote for. Dude, that's great. I love that.
I tried to deliver that with the implied stupid claps in between the words that people do on a tweet. Because I was seeing a lot of people do, I won't vote for a fucking pedophile or something like that. And like, I was like, you know what? I really want to try to do that in lyric form. Let's try to get one of those across.
That's awesome. Again, we are on the Rockfin. I can put that chat up on screen. We are also monetized on INN for Rockfin, so you guys can hook us up if you want to leave a tip. Again, we do this for free because we love doing it and we have a good time. Everybody wants to hook us up with some streaming costs. We appreciate it. Totally not necessary. We know it's tough times right now, so especially for some people that have had people in the hospital lately. So I don't want to talk anything about that, but yeah. So if anybody wanted to drop a couple of bucks in the guitar case, it certainly wouldn't hurt things. I'll tell you right now. Anyway, we've got a couple more tunes. I know.
I'm thinking Hymn for the Expendable. I've only played this maybe on one stream before. One of my first friends I made on Twitter because of Town Hall was a lady in Texas who goes by Open Mind Texas. I think she's still not as active as she used to be. She's one of those people who kind of hit her Twitter limit, but she had posted about her daughter early in the pandemic being told, hey, actually we need you to come work this job. And this was in the first couple of weeks. And she said something to the effect of, sending your kid off to work and knowing that they're making such a pitiful wage, and that they're just, expendable, that they're just being treated as someone that's just, or essential and expendable were such a fine line. They still are. And her tweet ended up getting picked up by a couple news articles and used as an example of someone speaking out about us being, fodder. And I ended up writing this song, which of everything on the virus, I wish I had fleshed out the mix for this one a little more. This one was literally the day that I was uploading everything for Spotify and everything. I listened back to this one and I'm like, I forgot to put a bass in this song. So all of a sudden I'm like literally adding a bass line in again, full Kanye West style, frantically making changes to the record right before it goes live. But yeah, this is another one that I'll want to really do justice for on the acoustic album that I'll be doing sometime soon. This is called Hymn for the Expendable. Oh, we're in drop D still. That won't work.
Time to be so used. I didn't know I was a soldier till the sacrifice was over and I didn't get to choose. Oh, I didn't get to choose. I didn't get to choose.
Somewhere there's a mother worried, sick about her daughter. 'Cause when she starts her shift, she's set adrift on dark, uncharted waters. You can say that she's some hero, but her mom will tell you that she's just another lamb that's being sent to slaughter. And that she'll be damned to see her baby girl be someone else's fodder. And if it has to burn, then let it burn. She could smile at the shock on all the faces of you people who could not be bothered, who couldn't think outside your sphere of needs and problems, who shrug off someone else's fears and cannot feel enough to grieve another's losses. They won't want to be around when the oppressed rewrite the message, 'cause it's eat the rich and skin your bosses. Fuck around and find out. You can try to earn a vote, or you can burn a vote and count your losses. But what you pass off as unity is truly something nauseous, truly something toxic to a cause so truly conscious. God, look at what we're fighting for. Look inside the heart of who we fought to put in office. And ask yourself just what could be in someone else's heart that makes them fight to try to stop this. Or what makes them think that they could stop this.
Oh, what a time to be so needed, and what a time to be so used. I didn't know I was a soldier till the sacrifice was over. I didn't get to choose. I didn't get to choose. I didn't get to choose.
Bada boom.
Yeah, that definitely slaps as a acoustic. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hymn for the Expendable. Yeah, no, that fits really nicely.
All right. We
we're on to Complicit Milano. This, oh God, this song was fun to do. The best, maybe the best part. So obviously, I mean, I don't need to give you guys a whole lot of background into why Alyssa Milano's a piece of shit. But when I realized that I wanted to do a song for her, well, about her, I shouldn't say for her. Once she was ignoring Tara Reid like she was, like so many people did.
Well, she had more stake than just about anyone, with her husband like being involved with Time's Up and the whole like she was literally like conspiring with the person that was undermining the entire thing. So we knew, like literally turned out to rip the mask off and be the Scooby-Doo villain. Like, oh my God, it was Alyssa Milano the whole time. Holy shit. And Deborah Messing too. Yeah. Thanks.
You got to warn me before you say her name out loud.
Deborah.
So when I realized I wanted to do a song about Alyssa Milano, I decided I was like, I want to mention one terrible film that she was in, right? And I didn't even get to scroll down the list because I didn't need to, because top of the list there's Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. I'm not gonna find.
There's
I'm sorry,
a sequel.
it's not gonna be better than that on this list. And to this day, I still haven't looked. Maybe there is. Maybe I'll do another Alyssa song and I'll need it. But yeah. And then I also decided this is the time to use mansplaining as a weapon and mansplain to an actor what an actor is. It just felt right. So yeah, this is Complicit Milano.
Top of the heap, according to Cynic, and I'm sure that's a line in there somewhere that
technically all of these count as part of the song because the sound of me hitting the apple is in almost every song on the Virus. Love you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, this is okay. This is this was the first of many like straight up diss tracks. I'm like, okay, let's do a whole song about one person and just really hit them hard. So yeah, Alyssa, if you're watching, I've still never gotten my cease and desist letter, and I want to frame it.
What to do now that all that Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2 money ran out, and that wave you rode from Me Too didn't pan out? Who knew you could shrink your spine down and shift in your seat and just switch where you stand now? But no, I'm sure it's all worth it for your big fat handout. Just don't get caught around Joe with his hands out, with his eyes elsewhere, his tongue out, his pants down. You chose to take the word of one man who gladly held civil rights ransom over countless women who have been touched and sniffed and grabbed and whispered to on camera. Not to mention one staffer who found herself out of a job when she wouldn't accept his advances. Not that it stopped him from forcing his hands, 'cause he was a powerful man and he assumed that she thought he was handsome. Now what was it you said about giving all victims their chances? About trusting the courage of those who would speak in the face of such monstrous detractors? Trusting the stories of women abused in a system that sees them as actors? See, Alyssa, an actor is someone who's paid to portray different characters. Sometimes dramatic, comedic, absurdist, or sometimes a rape defense strategist. So based on the size of this check, is the payoff exceeding all your averages? Shit, I guess that it would have to be. Look at all the people you've been taking such advantage of. I don't think anybody decent could sleep in the night
knowing they sold out sex abuse victims months after standing with them, months after saying that we needed to embrace their decisions to speak and not be surprised when people just believe what they read, find themselves quickly misled, find themselves saying that they don't believe. Just how much money to make up a loophole where you can save face while betraying your scruples? Just how much money to trample your morals and peddle a possible pedophile with a straight face like you're loyal? Warren's just a garden snake, Alyssa is a cobra in the soil. From the venom in her mouthpiece straight through the cold blood coursing through her coils. And I hope that she hears this and somehow it gets to her more than the rest and she positively boils. So if you see her spitting venom, man, you can't blame a desperate snake trying to sell a little oil. 'Cause times are tough and time is up for senators and royals. Ignore all the Epstein connections and inner circle yacht parties held by your employers. Alyssa says it's fine, so you should say it's fine, or she might call her lawyer. And I would hang that cease and desist on the wall like some trophy of war, a piece of a country I entered unseen and I left its destroyer. 'Cause it's a victory to me if I'm up under your skin and you're reaching for the pliers. Pretend like I'm a voyeur, show me the fire. Now once for the record, Alyssa Milano, I have called you an overplayed liar.
You just called her an overplayed liar, which was hilarious. That was great.
Oh man.
I almost want to hear like how could you Susan? It's like the Alyssa Milano Susan Sarandon back double feature, you know.
Oh shit.
And by the way, we got a new fan, and Craddock Crow found our channel. Glad that you did. And then he's here. He's like, who's this rooster dude? And that I like that rooster thing. Thank you. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I'm Indy. I'm the Bong Father. Hey, how you doing? I got this guy sitting next to me, Jesse Jett. He's the lyrical talent. He's amazing. He's musical genius, and he works in a distillery, right? In a
combination of brewery and distillery. It's a giant beer industry.
Right, and he sits on the forklift and he's inspired to write, and all the songs are recorded in his car when he records albums. It's absolutely freaking remarkable. And again, I want to put this guy in a studio with a band and musicians and like worthy of this talent. And oh my God, I can't wait to hear what comes out of that. Cynic says the same thing. Cynic is the Jesse superfan and friend, of course. Jesse has been playing music for, God, I don't even know how long. But I was lucky enough, Jesse joined INN back in March, and he told me what he wanted to do for a show, and I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Like just like play some tunes, write some tunes maybe, and go through some kind of like an open format, engage with the audience. That's awesome. It's like, and I want you to host him. Really? Okay. Shit.
Oh, it was the best.
Sign me up. Where do I go? Hell yeah. So this is American tradition. So I'm the host and the producer, and this guy is the star and the talent, and he writes, and it's all about him, and I'm just like here to enjoy and hang and run the stuff and push the buttons. So that's my job tonight. I have a good time doing it and breaking down some songs, because I do love listening to this guy's music, and his lyrics are amazing. So
thank you, dude. Thank you, seriously. So go
ahead. Sorry.
This next one, I didn't know if anyone was gonna like this song. I thought this might be the one that is just kind of for me, and especially because I went in a weird direction musically. The melody and some of the instrument use was supposed to evoke this kind of Revolutionary War vibe to it. And it turned out to be a song, easily the one that people ask for the most. If someone's asking for a song in chat, they ask for Militia Intent. And I never thought that would be the case. It makes me so happy. So, yeah, this is... oh, hang on. Now we got to do... Yeah, let's throw in Susan Sarandon. Chat's talking Susan Sarandon song. So we got to... I want to pepper this in real quick. I know we played this on here before, but it's such a short song.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, so I watch an awful lot of people shit on Susan Sarandon and blame her for everything under the sun. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a song where I'm blaming Susan for ludicrous things that obviously she couldn't be at fault for. And a whole bunch of people still thought I was being serious because people won't listen the whole way through something. I figured if I'm blaming her for wildfires and floods, that people have to know I'm kidding. But there is no nuance to be had on the old Bird app. And yeah, so here we go. This is for Susan. This is called How Could You, Susan?
I remember well the golden age, 2015, feeling like the world would be okay. Till Susan came along, and just to suit her selfish needs, she went and tanked the Hillary campaign. So you can go thank Susan for those nightmare years of Trump. You can thank her when he wins in 24. And if I had the chance, I'd ask why she won't cancel debt. Oh, why she made inflation simply soar. I'd say, how could you, Susan, just throw us to the wolves? And why'd you let those wildfires burn? Oh, why'd you make Joe Biden take back every single promise he made back when he still had votes to earn? How could you condemn us to a ruling fascist hand? And how much did they pay you for your part in Putin's plan? How could you destroy us with such reckless, cold abandon, Miss Sarandon? How could you?
I have almost all the lyrics in my head. I was singing along, like I've got almost all of them down. It's so good, so damn funny. It's great to see the look on somebody's face the first time they hear those words. Oh, you can't ever get that back. It's so good.
All right, now for something completely different. All right, here we go. This is Militia Intent.
Can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you wouldn't listen to 50,000 dead? Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. So I'd play civil when all these dead won't make you listen.
What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me, 'cause I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory and leave them there. And Hillary, I'll see you there. Nah, Hillary, I'll see you there.
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your head. So I play civil when you listen to 100,000 dead. And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. So I play civil when all these dead won't make you listen.
Welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. Honey, welcome to the last of the free speech while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats and second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust, there's just moral justice after that. And I would hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. So I could rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. I could sleep fine if our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. As long as I can lay my head down, I can live with that. I can deal with a little ash. 'Cause I could feel like a little of the old me burn with the bad and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back. Well, those days are behind us. The virus will kill all of that. Your wealth is behind us and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. And they feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion and people in need are all it will have. Our only chance is to starve it and watch as it turns on them.
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your head. Can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your head.
Yeah, that's Militia Intent off the virus. And Cynic says that's your fight song. That's our fight song. and I'm actually digging Powerless as a fight song personally, especially like the last verse. And yeah, that gets me fired the fuck up.
Intensifying fear of knowing revolutions.
That song just gets me fired up, you know, because we aren't. Damn it. So yeah,
I might get that tattooed on me just because we aren't. I'm very tempted.
Dude, when I saw that there was a song on this called Biden's Hairy Leg, I almost spit out my drink. And I'm like, is that like a tribute to Lauren, to Elbird? Oh, I love her. Shout out to Lauren. She's I don't even know what her Twitter handle is, but I just know her as Biden's Hairy Leg on Twitter. And she's over on the Instagrams too, and we're friends on Discord, and she's fantastic. And she runs a leftist Twitter space where they hang out and do game nights on Friday night. I mean, a leftist Discord where they do game nights, and it's kind of chill in a no conflict zone. I love it. So that's hilarious. Biden's Hairy Leg. That's great.
So we'll wrap it up with one of the first songs. This was probably the fourth song that I wrote for the record, because we weren't long into quarantine when John Prine passed. And I mean, I'm a songwriter. It's hard to not appreciate and be influenced by John Prine. But within a couple hours, I'd seen a thing on Twitter where his wife was talking about the last bit of time she spent with him, and she said something like, when someone you love passes, you're obligated to replay everything together and go through all the good and all the bad, and it's just something that you owe that person. And that hit me hard, and I ended up writing this that night. This is called Song for John.
I had to relive the little things we said. You keep me breathing, whatever way it ends.
See if I have to die when it isn't my time. Wither in my prime, thanks to COVID-19, I'd wake up on the other side and meet John Prine, who'd have a song finished, or at least a couple lines, and I could shake his hand, and for the first time in about 30 days, I would feel like that was fine. That's a long way to travel for a simple thing to find. A little human contact that used to pass us by. The little social contracts suspended in the ice, where we last saw friends, where we last touched hands, where we last lived our lives. And I don't think it's reaching to say I won't be the same beyond tonight. So give my love to John and tell him I'll keep writing songs until I die.
I had to relive the little things we said. You keep me breathing, whatever way it ends. I'll keep writing songs until I die. I'll keep writing songs until I die.
And that Song for John.
Oh, that's pretty. So, like, between all of our shows, you've played like most of this album.
Most of it. I haven't done, because I even did Domestication as a spoken word piece. So I haven't done Violet, Masks Off, Chips, or Tumors. That's probably it. So 4 out of the 24 that we haven't done, but everything
General,
else.
did you do General?
Oh,
I don't
General,
remember
no.
General.
God damn it, no. General. I have done Look Fat. But
I don't remember COVID Cabana either, because I read that title and I laughed at that. I was like, oh, I don't remember that.
Man, and again, you know what's what I love and hate about the virus is that it's representative of me changing a lot of opinions. The very beginning, we're right into quarantine, and I'm taking the CDC's word at face value until I realize that you shouldn't, and so it's like this weird, all of a sudden all of our gigs are canceled, and we're just kind of waiting to see what's happening. And half of my friends were living in abject fear and washing their mail, and half of my friends were out living their lives and trying to doing their thing unless a place told them they couldn't. And it was just so bizarre, especially when I'm a parent. Like, obviously you don't want to fuck up, but it's like, where are you supposed to feel like you're getting reliable information from? And
right.
That's all the more reason once I found people on Twitter saying something different, and then I'm watching them get silenced left and right. I'm like, that's not just misinformation. That's someone's taking this opinion down for a reason. And that's when I start paying more attention. And thank God now I follow the kind of independent media that I do, you know?
Well, CNN was always right, weren't they?
But there are songs that I wouldn't go back and change the lyrics, but they obviously don't all represent my opinion now. COVID Cabana was kind of me looking at the people that were still doing their thing, and it's like, do you guys not care, or are you not worried? Should I not be worried? Like,
that was like everybody on the beach in Florida in early April. Like, COVID's ripping around for 3 weeks, everything's shut down in Florida. They're at spring break, like, woohoo!
Yeah,
like,
and
okay.
that was the seafood festival back in the town I used to live in. Was the seafood festival was on? They were going, and Florida was doing their thing, you know. COVID Cabana, from a production standpoint, I was like, I'm going to replace my snare with a castanet, and I'm going to send that castanet to the fucking moon. That is castanet porn of the highest degree. There are so many, like, it's ridiculous, but I love the instrumental. There's also a little, I can't say it too loud, but there's a sample from MASH on that song.
No DMCA. Facebook will catch it. I'm telling you, they're unbelievable.
There are several uncleared samples that I snuck into the virus that I can't obviously can't go divulging, or I'd have to kill you all. But they may or may not be the Contortionist, Michael McDonald, AFI, and the Cranberries. Tiny little bits that are so obscure that, like, they wouldn't be recognizable, and then they're pitched down and backwards and all cafuculated. But I quit messing around with it after the fact, just because I was terrified that, like, someone would, use that against me. Turns out, for samples, unless you're trying to sell physical media or trying to sell beyond some amount, it's such a, like, they don't give a shit. But again, once I'm doing the kind of political music that I'm doing and poking the bear, that would be a weak spot. If someone wanted to try to bring me down, they'd be like, hey, that's murder, and then all of a sudden I'd be, getting some ridiculous copyright claims. So The Virus was the only album where I messed around with samples that weren't taken from a news clip or something.
BC Boy style.
Exactly.
That reminds me of like B-Boys. Like I was, look, I grew up on those guys. I loved them to death, and the way they mixed and what they sampled. Yeah, but even before that, like Ryman and Steele mixing Led Zeppelin, I had never even heard anyone think to consider sampling and mixing Led Zeppelin into a hip hop.
Mississippi Queen. They sampled Mississippi Queen. There's just so much. Yeah.
So much musical talent in those three guys. I mean, yeah. And they were about 10 years older than me, but I just watched this, and they just evolved and continued to evolve into Check Your Head, and then Ill Communication, and their arc, and their wow.
Dude, I was so heartbroken when MCA died. That hurt.
Their last album, like their last single that it dropped, it was like the Hot Sauce Committee Volume 2, and they did that that video where they had all these like old. It was great video.
Oh, that was fantastic. It really was.
And then then that was it. And I was like, really? And then I watched that thing on Apple Music and bawling through that. And that was awesome. So Cynic is asking for us to play from Bandcamp. What are we playing? Violet. Just right off of here, and we can do that real easy. Just drop it in a presenter mode.
Yeah, let's do it. So Violet, when I was playing these songs for the few people close to me that I felt safe playing them for, when my brother, who did the album cover, heard the chorus for Hooky, he said it kind of reminds me of Militia Intent. It feels like it's in that same little thing. I was like, really? And then I listened to it. I'm like, you could actually overlay those. And so the the outro for it, I overlaid the two choruses together, and it works really well. In fact, I'd love to do a remix where I do that for longer. It also starts with what is the sample in the beginning? My knuckles cracking and a turkey call. That's how the song starts.
Sure.
Knuckles cracking and a turkey call. Because why not?
Why not?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna play Violet now, and then we'll be back in 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
If a hospital's in need of more PPE, there's no reason that they can't buy it. It's a business owner's call if they choose to enforce mask use to stay compliant. You know, a lot of deaths are vitamin deficiency related, so they probably had a poor diet. It's a lot like the flu, but the media's conspiring to keep that quiet. You won't catch me on the CDC site catching up on guidelines. I'll be choosing faith over science. I'll be at the beach if you need me, but 6 sharp gotta get home from my 2 grand Zoom call live with the Bidens. At the end they ask the middle class, leave the room a moment while they lay bare the next phase of unrestrained police violence. And silent. They say no man is an island. But when you're drowning all alone, then it clicks that you either were one of us castaways crafting a signal or one of the many oblivious pilots. And we could burn every poem we can find, but they won't ever open their eyes, 'cause they fly over right around 5 when the sun fights right through your eyelids. So it's just a long, slow trail of goodbye left behind as the orange turns violet. So it's just a long, slow trail of goodbye left behind as the orange turns violet. So it's just a long, slow trail of goodbye left behind as the orange turns violet. So it's just a long, slow trail of goodbye left behind as the orange turns violet. So it's just a long, slow trail of goodbye left behind as the orange turns violet. So it's just a long, slow trail of goodbye left behind as the orange turns violet.
You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hand. Why play civil when you won't listen to 100,000 dead? And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. So why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? Won't make you listen. Make you listen. Make you listen. Make you listen.
All right, and that was Violet off of The Virus, as you see here by Jesse Jett. This guy sitting right above me, or actually now right next to me. And that has been tonight's episode of American Tradition. This thing goes so damn fast every week. Like, hour and... Are you muted? Did you mute yourself?
Sorry. Oh, yeah, I did.
You were muted.
It
Hey.
totally does. Like, how did an hour and a half just go by all of a sudden?
Yeah, like, we're an hour 22. Okay, Cynic's saying COVID Cabana. Too fast, too fast. We're gonna do, maybe we'll do COVID Cabana, like we'll do another 5-track.
Yeah, well, I want to leave some
remaining
stuff to do.
Yeah, remaining stuff. So yeah, we definitely want to do something like that live. And yeah, 2 more weeks we'll be back. And we'll be back on INN next time on Indie News Network, youtube.com/Indie News Network. We have gotten the ban hammer for 1 week and we're not allowed to stream there. But that's why we're over here on youtube.com/ND Left News. Thank you so much for coming over and checking it out over here. Like, share, subscribe, share this stream. I should have said that when we started, but I'm so jazzed and geeked to get going that I completely forget and I get lost in stories.
I know, me too.
Share this stuff out. Make sure more people see it. It's so much fun to just kind of hang out, chill out, and cut loose. And by the way, shout out to Big Mad Crab for the episode thumbnail. I want to show you guys what that looks like. Boom. Really
and again,
sweet.
like that album and all of my albums wouldn't have happened had people not responded like they did to the first song. And while there are an awful lot of people that ideologically we have kind of separated since then, there are still so many people from the very beginning that I'm still super close with, and I have really made such amazing friendships with so many really genuine, like-minded people that I love really dearly. And a lot of you guys are here tonight and every night, and it really means the world to me. So you're all equally responsible and complicit in my discography. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't really have like a
that's our sign off. Honestly, I feel like once we say that, we've said it all.
Like an outro or anything. So I always just say to always question everyone's motivations and keep doing that and don't stop. Doesn't matter who they are. So for sure.
And I say don't do drugs unless you're just bored.
Everybody.